I interest you in some peace of mind? So my name is Dwayne White, aka Gayandia Hurewa Sachitananda, and these are all of my books that I've written. In a nutshell, they are my account of the supernatural reality of our higher selves. It's where I saw with complete conviction that we're all the same soul, just pretending to be separate and individual pieces. And I saw the makeup of the human fractal and the entirety of the multiverse. And that's what all these books are. And all of those books led me to this book, The Day I Called Me Out on My Shit. So this book is basically spirit awareness of the mirrored reality. Reality ain't nothing but a mirror. See, all of my other books are metaphysical talk, but this one is a practical approach to your mind. And I speak of the human brain like a computer. It's hackable, repeatable, programmable. And I take that concept of oneness and teach you how to develop and apply self-awareness, God awareness, and begin your shadow work. So this book is a diary of in-the-moment experiences of my shadow work, my self-reflection, meta-awareness, and observing how I interact with people. What shadows come up, what triggers are pushed, because that gives me an opportunity to look at myself and see what still needs healing. So I describe meta-awareness as the subtle realization that there are no others in competition with you but you. Nothing comes in your life without your vibrational calling of it. And it's called for a divine reason. And it's usually to face uncomfortable inner states that you want to blame on this person or that person or anything out there. But this book says, no. Out there don't even exist. It's all within. All events, circumstances, people are divine orchestrations sent by your higher self, or the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, to bring you information about a hidden shadow within you. And I make a mental note to find the lesson within each moment, within each interaction, within each narrative that my brain wants to create about invalidating this experience or invalidating this person or this thought or that thought or this emotion or that emotion. Every situation is an opportunity to flex and practice the best version of yourself. It is complete self-responsibility and acceptance on the spirit side, and the complete releasing of guilt and blame on the human side. It's that balance. And when your heart is in that open space to receive yourself, you start to remember your soul contracts, your past life, your higher mission, your oneness with God, and you tap into your constructive response side, rather your egocentric reactive side. You allow yourself to experience your emotions instead of becoming them. See, when you become your emotions, you rob yourself the experience of them. When emotions can't be felt, they're incomplete and ends up getting dumped in your mind's basement, which will end up manifesting in other unrelated areas in your life, subtly and subconsciously. They'll come out as lashing out, coping mechanisms, reactivity, emotional imbalance, identity attachments, self-unawareness, all that good stuff. Well, not good stuff. But when you experience your emotions without judgment or attaching your identity to them, just experiencing them fully within the moment with mindfulness and unconditional support from you, you complete them. And when they are complete, you can see them for what they are, not for what ego keeps trying to make them mean. Guy Finlay reminds us that when the experience of pain is felt and completed within the mind, you complete the reason that that event keeps remanifesting itself. In that way, we can follow our emotions with this meta-awareness and constructive self-responsibility. And this will help us build inner peace in the middle of outer chaos. So a big portion of my teaching is mindful meditation, self-realization, and emotional management. We see the brain as a computer that we have temporarily plugged into to play a game within the earth school, or the soul's gym, as I like to call it. Instead of an identity point we attach our sense of self to, then get butthurt when reality doesn't meet up to our expectations. Because here's the secret and the painful part. It's designed to do the opposite. It's mechanically designed to do the opposite for our growth. And I always like to give my example of a gym. While in the gym, you aren't building muscle. You're creating the muscle tears. Because the body, when you are resting, naturally uses that damage as information to heal itself with a little extra layer of protection. That's where the muscles come in. So similarly, our souls use the limiting vessels of this computer-like vessel that we're in on purpose, as an equipment, just by way of experiencing fully the emotional roller coaster of the human experience, without invalidation, without attachment, without an identity point. And when the mind is in constructive mode, after you are healing, that's when the growth comes. It is these moments of self-awareness, self-reflection, meta-awareness, God-awareness, self-realization that brings about the healing. Oh, but why? Because the universe is mechanically designed to use suffering as information to expand itself better and better and better. In small ways, big ways, spiritual ways, multidimensional ways. You can say the whole point of existence is to expand consciousness back to its source. And by the time it reaches its source, it's of the same energy as it, revealing that it was never truly separated from heaven. It was only dreaming that it was, for the experience of. In conclusion, life is just the imagination of God, baby. The imagination of God's mind to get the soul to see the self. Just to be able to experience existence, because that is all that is can do. Is be. That's the grand truth right there. So obvious that it's invisible. So simple that it's the most complex and difficult thing to understand, to grasp. That all of this is make-believe of God's imagination just to experience existence. Or you can say the universe experiencing itself, God experiencing itself, God dreaming, whatever you want to say. So simple, yet so multidimensionally complex. So while we are human in this suspended fractal of source, we can find better, happier ways to exist. Happier ways to experience this game, experience the self. And we can only do that when we see the self, the true self, the inner self, the hidden self, and make peace with that. And I believe that is what reality is, that constructive workshop of shadow work, of revealing your triggers within all of your interactions, your relationships, big things and small things. Everything first goes through this belief system, through your insecurities, through your fears. And in this book, we become fear extractors, sugar. We become root pullers. And it's a diary of how I observe my mind, observe my emotions in the middle of difficult people and situations, and when I'm forced to, or I am invited to practice things like patience, unconditional love, self-reflection, projection. And a lot of times I be getting mad at people for shit that I do. Like, what? I do this on another day, but I don't make that connection that I'm getting mad at you for that same thing that I just did to my partner, or that I just did to some stranger, or that I just did while I was in traffic, because I was doing the thing that now I'm yelling at you for doing. Like, we don't make that connection because we don't have that self-awareness in the moment, and it's so much easier to just say, that person just stupid. That person just annoying. This situation just sucks. Not realizing we probably orchestrated that soul contract to manifest in our lives so we can see the self. Come on now, I got more messages than moments, baby. So I teach you how to make that connection within your own personal matrix and become aware of the mirror. Become aware of the self with the big S. And I get busy discovering the root of that. Now you're able to experience suffering without becoming suffering. And that inner peace, happiness, bliss is a side effect. It's a side effect of constructive workshop. It's a side effect of unconditional acceptance. It's a side effect of emotional integration of all parts of the human experience. It's a side effect of the ego death. But we ain't gonna go that far because I know that's a little uncomfortable right now. So we're gonna stick to ego awareness, ego accountability, because it integrates the lower mind back into the higher self. And this is how we become eternally the kingdom of God. And it's a conversation within. So you can go to vanishingtobliss.com. That is my website where I talk about all of this. You can check out any of my books. We have Vanishing into Deep Bliss, My Brush with Infinity, Whispers from an Orgone Box, The Day I Called Me Out on My Shit, and my final book that I've just published a couple of days ago is called The Final Ascend. That's when we basically sum up everything. It's kind of a short book, no more than 90 pages. We just sum up everything we've learned and kind of bring everything full circle. Full circle. Okay, that's it, you guys. Thank you for listening to me talk for almost 10 minutes about this. I'm about to go eat me something and relax and probably write some more. So, yeah. We have Costello and 33 just chilling. You know, they reading some books or whatever. And my clothes all everywhere because it's kind of dirty or whatever. But, yeah, I'm going to get all that sorted out before I pull out.